Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. After 2 months vacation, we are once again starting reading the Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, which I love to say as Panchama Veda. Now, as usual, we will chant from the Gospel and then we will start reading. Tabo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. You may remember that we were studying the master's training of his disciples. That was the chapter from the Gospel, and English page 893. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was talking to the doctor and other devotees, and he mentioned to the doctor, look here, if a man truly believes that God alone does everything, that he is the operator and the man is the machine, then such a man is verily liberated in life. Thou workest thine own work, men only call it theirs. Tumar karmo, tumi karoma, loke bole koriyami. And this is an excellent conception of liberation. I am not having any little an iota of egoism. You know, friends, what I have understood, it is very simple, though, that if we don't have the ego, then we are gods. As because we are having the ego, the I sense that I am doing, I am thinking, I am observing, whatever, the moment even the little I is there, immediately we are away from the God. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he pointed out that remove the ego. And if we can remove the ego, which is actually not there, we are just imagining that. When I point to my body, it is changing, so which body is mine? The little one that I was or the grown-up one? Mind is also same. The mind is also constantly changing. Thoughts are changing. Which particular mind is I? Which particular body is I? We cannot point it out. But even then, we are thinking that it is I, and I. So that is really very unique in one sense, we can say, and that is called the Maya. Maya can be felt, cannot be explained. That's why, to give the definition of the Maya, Shankaracharya himself, a man like Shankaracharya, he was not finding words. Sanna asannapi uvayatmikano. He said it is Sat, it is there, again it is not there, and you can say it is both of that is not there. So it is very peculiar condition. So what is Maya? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, if you can take that position that I am not doing, only God doing. And another problem is, when you think that I am not doing, God is doing, but with ego, I am actually thinking that I am not doing, God is doing, but beneath that there is an ego, I am doing. That is a terrible condition. Those people are dangerous people, because they will be doing all the nuisances in the name of God. But when a person is completely free from ego, he is full of love and unselfishness. We have to keep in mind. Otherwise, Most of the people, they are hypnotizing themselves and thinking whatever I am doing is the work of God. Many are there, many instances are there. They are doing themselves and doing very bad type of things, but they are thinking this is the work of God. And that is the very, very dangerous situation. So when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, if a man truly believes that God alone does everything, that he is the operator and the man is the machine, then such a man is verily liberated in life. Liberation in life, that means jivana mukti. Liberation, it may be after my death, I may be liberated. Most of the people, those who are sadhaka, sadhikas, they get liberation after the death. Or some they go to God, go to heaven. Majority they go to God and heaven. But sadhaka and sadhikas, some they get the liberation, but those who are getting the liberation mostly after death. So, but here Shankaracharya is giving the stress that Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti He Tabe Janmadharitam. In Sanskrit it says, to enjoy the free life, a human has taken the birth. The birth is the goal to enjoy the life. How? I am doing everything, but I am not attached to anything because I sense is not there. It is the condition of they always compare with the child. Wherever the children are, say 3 years, 4 years old, no body consciousness, no such ego. So they are everywhere, they are fine. Even after the bombardment, I have seen the picture, everything has been destroyed, the elders are crying and they do not know, confused what to do. Children are playing over there. So they are happy. No problem now. The seniors are busy. Why? There is no fear. There is no attachment. There is nothing in the mind. That is an ignorant state though. But as a knowledge, in knowledge also we can think, whatever I see, whatever may be the situation, I am not bound by this. It is going to change. That is called liberation. And do you know what it is like? Vedanta philosophy gives an illustration. Suppose you are cooking rice in a pot with potato and eggplant and other vegetables. After a while, the potatoes, eggplant, rice, and the rest begin to jump about in the pot. They seem to say with pride, we are moving, we are jumping. The children see it and think that potatoes, eggplant, and the rice are alive, and so they jump that way. But the elders who know explain to the children that the vegetables and the rice are not alive. They jump not of themselves, but because of the fire under the pot. If you remove the burning wood from the hearth, then they will move no more. Likewise, the pride of man that he is the doer springs from ignorance. There's a beautiful story in the Upanishad also. After the war with the demons, Asuras as we call it, the Devatas, they were very happy and they were going on boasting how they fought and how many they slain and all their, after the war, as all the war heroes they talk about, they were chit-chatting, enjoying. Then suddenly, it was the Indra, he was sitting in the court, he was the king of the gods, and other gods were also sitting over there. So when that was happening, suddenly there appeared at the door a very, very bright type of person. But he was not entering into the room. He was standing over there. What is the reason? Who is he? Why he is not coming? But he is so attractive. So he asked the Agni Devata, will you please go and ask that gentleman who is he and what he wants from us? The Agni Devata went over there and the guest asked him, who are you? Agni was taken aback. You don't know me. I am the fire god. Is it your fire god? What do you do? Oh my God, I burn. What do you burn? Everything. Everything in this world. Just ask me. I can burn it. Is that your power? Of course. Then he put a straw before him and he said, can you burn this straw? Are you kidding? I burn everything in this world and you're asking about this straw? No, no problem. Just burn it before me. Then naturally the god wanted to burn it with his little power. Nothing happened. He couldn't make any fire. Then he slowly, whole power he engaged to burn that straw, but he could not do anything. Ashamed, he came back and then he reported, sir, I do not know who is this person. And I could not burn even a straw. I do not know. This must be something very special. Then the king Indra turned to the Vayu Devata, the Pavan Devata, and asked, can you please go and inquire? Then Pavan thought, this is a chance that I can belittle the Agni Devata and can go above him by performing it. He came, and same way that our gentleman asked, who are you? I am Vayu Devata. What do you do? I blow everything. Can you please blow this straw? And he gave the force because he heard from the Agni that this is a very special thing. But no, nothing happened. The straw was there. Though the Vayu Devata, the wind god, put his whole force, but nothing moved. He also came, head hanging in shame, and reported the same. Then the god, this Indra understood, the king of gods, that this is something very, very unique. I must go. When he came near the door, that man vanished. As if to break his pride, he never wanted to talk to him. He gave the darshan, appeared before the Agni and Vayu, talked to them. That was his grace. But when the full of pride, the king of the gods came, because of his pride, that he disappeared. Then suddenly, when the king of gods were bewildered and he was wondering what to do and what is all this, suddenly there appeared Uma Haimavati. That was the first time in the Upanishad they mention the name of Uma. And Haimavati is the glow of the gold, and it was all dazzling. Then she mentioned, are you fools? You are patting your own back? It was the power of the Brahman that worked through you that you could vanquish your enemies. And you are thinking that you have done? Through this story in the Upanishad, the same thing Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in his own word, he is mentioning. We have to understand that the pride of man, that he is the doer, springs from ignorance. Men are powerful because of the power of God. All becomes quiet when the burning wood is taken away. The puppet dance well on the stage when pulled by a wire, but they cannot move when the wire snaps. So this is like that. When we think that we are having that our own, that is called personal, the power, and we can do it. This is the answer. From the point of view of the devotion, from the duality, this is the answer. And when we think of it, our own pride goes away. In reality, we cannot do anything. And we do not know what is going to happen next moment. A person who was a great orator, And after the oration, he went back to bed. Next morning he got up. He was completely unable to talk even. It happens. Then what will happen? You go to the doctor, treating and whatever. But we are really that helpless. We do not know what is going to happen to us next moment. And we are boasting. We have so much pride. Then we think that we can do this, we can do that. That is ignorance. So those who like to become spiritual, this is the first point we have to remember, that we are nobody. If you think that in that case, how I am going to strive, how I am going to give my effort for spiritual development, here with a humble prayer, if we are doing, "O Lord, please help me so that I can call your names, I can take your holy names, I can meditate on you, help me." So that is the prayer. This is the unique teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and he is giving the training to his disciple, and this is a very special training that you have to, though you are having all the capacities, qualities, but you should know all those things have come because of the God. Some are very, very successful because of the God's grace. God has chosen him to give that. Some are not that very lucky. So he has to pray. Instead of being jealous, he must pray, she must pray. So these are the teachings of the spiritual teachings. So whom we can call a holy person? One who is not having pride. So we do not understand who is a holy person or not. Sometimes we think of the miracles or the peculiar dresses as a long, big, matted hair and these, that. So we consider all those things, but no, that may be that. But the main thing is he truly very egoistic? In that case, he has not achieved anything in the spiritual life. Self-confidence is the other thing. Swami Vivekananda, he is asking us to be confident about ourselves. But it is not pride. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna giving us that teaching. A man will cherish the illusion that he is the doer as long as he has not seen God, as long as he has not touched the philosopher's stone. So that is the main point. How we will understand this person is holy? He is not having the ego. So ego-free, ego-less person. But he is having the self-confidence. What is that self-confidence? I believe in God and I can work for God because God has taken me as his instrument. I am the son of God. I am the daughter of God. We are the children of God. That is the pride. So we are connected with God. We are doing everything for God, but not for myself. This body-mind complex that I am now at this moment has nothing to do with the I, that ego. The I, the ego is God's ego. In Vaishnava Shastra they say, the Radha, in the beginning she was little pride that the Krishna is giving the preference to her. Then one day she found that Krishna is with everyone without her. Then she started crying, she became angry, but afterwards she realized that Krishna is present in every being. He is the God of everyone. But his grace came to me, his blessings came to me in a special way because he chose me. And I became proud of that and started telling others, why do you go to Krishna? Krishna loves me only. But no, it is not that. He is the Samadarshi. The God is the Samadarshi. He has same-sightedness, is equal feeling for everyone. But still he loves those who is worshipping him. So that is the way the Radha realized. Then the moment she realized that, then the Krishna again came. That was a milana. Milana means the union of the devotee and the God, and obviously that generated the extreme love and happiness. So these are the stories on which the Radha's life, but the teaching is this, that if you have pride, even thinking that I am the best devotee of God, then also you are separated from God. The God cannot take only the pride. All other things, maybe I am not that way very good and these, that, everything he may forget and then he can accept me. But if there is an iota of pride, no, you cannot go even close to God. Sri Ramakrishna also, in every pages of his teaching, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he is trying to give us that idea. The man with, then he says, Maya. This awareness of distinction is due to God's Maya. This is God's Maya. He is keeping us under that illusion, and we are thinking, oh, I am happy. And that is why again and again we have to pray to God, please remove your Maya, remove this illusion. I know that you are behind this. It is a curtain, and I am seeing many things on that, but that is not true. Remove that curtain. And this is the way if we can pray. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apihitam mukham tattam pushan apabrinu satya dharmaya drishtai. In Upanishad. In the Upanishad, also the same way they are praying. When they are practicing meditation and concentration and the discrimination, the mind is becoming pure. Almost at the end of the union of that, the unique consciousness. I am using the word unique because we don't have any idea about it. We have the idea of consciousness. But this consciousness, which is all pervading, which is above everything, which is the cause of everything, when I am going to merge with that, there remains even at the fag end of my sadhana something which is covering and making a distinction between me and the goal. So the last prayer is, please remove that too. And that is not very bad thing. It's a golden cover. The people will come and praise you. They will take your blessings. They will say he's a great spiritual person. It's all golden cover. Hiranmayena patrena. Satyasya apihitam mukham. Satya, the truth, which is eternal, that is covered, the face of that truth as if it is covered with a plate of gold, golden plate. So he is praying to that Supreme Being. Please remove it so that I can see you. But here, in the Upanishad, naturally, it is not a devotion. They say, I am not a beggar. I have every right to understand you, know you, merge with you. Why? I too am the same. So satyasya pihitam mukham, then I am also the same. So I am not begging to you. Devotee will beg, devotee will pray, devotee will cry. But a man on the path of knowledge, they won't. What they will say? This. Well, I am also the same. But the devotee will say, oh God, please bless me and all. So we are, when we are approaching Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is asking us, majority of us, because we don't have that strength of mind, it's better to approach to the same reality, to the same truth, whom we call God, whom we think that has a body, a name and a form. and through prayer. A man can realize God if he takes shelter under the Vidya Maya and follows the path of righteousness. A man can realize God. A man means anyone, any human being, can realize God if he takes shelter under the Vidya Maya. Now there are two Maya which is covering the truth and superimposing the something imagine that we imagine, or maybe we can call it untruth, on that truth. As a classical, the same example, a rope and the snake. There was only rope. I covered that rope and imagine a snake on the rope. So that is the power of Maya. So when we are doing that, he says, but if it is a Vidya Maya, what is that Vidya Maya? God is having everything. This is also the power of God, but God can do it. God can have it. The devotee, he also knows that God is having that power, and because of the God's power, everything is happening, but the God's power. So that is called Vidya Maya. That is also Maya. That is also covering. But he knows, understand it. So that follows the path of righteousness. What is called Dharma. What is the path of righteousness? Righteousness means Dharma. Now there are different definitions. We find particularly in the Mahabharata that the Vidura, Bhishma, they are giving the definitions of the Dharma in many different ways. The great Bhishma, the Devabrata Bhishma, who is also famous as a Pitamaha, the grandfather. So he said that it is the Sadachara, your achara, your behavior. When I am behaving with a person, am I giving the respect to that person? So that is the main thing. Sometimes we don't give proper respect to the people. Sometimes it's a poor, sometimes illiterate, sometimes under my control, maybe working under me. So I behave with them not with proper respect. No, that is not righteousness. That is not dharma. The dharma is righteousness. And the righteousness is sad achara. Whatever you expect from others, recognition, then the love, the respect, attention, everything you should give to others. What are the words that you are using? Choosing the words also very, very important. There's sometimes when you choose the wrong words, that hurts people. So sadachara is the dharma. That means you are always aware. You are always aware that I am dealing with someone, though apparently below me, depending on me, but no, he is God himself. Maybe a beggar, maybe someone who needs help, poor, illiterate, maybe the sick people, but I am dealing with him with great respect. That is called sadachara. Then smriti Veda. Smriti means the Gita and all that, and Veda, the Upanishads, how they are teaching. Then ultimately he said, these are the three things, and he said, Artha Chaturtham. As many a time I have discussed about that, but main thing is sadachara. And in another place also that it mentioned in the Mahabharata, Paramadharma. What is that Paramadharma? The supreme righteousness. Whatever you expect from others, giving the same or treating the others in the same way is the Paramadharma. Friends, dharma, we are confused with some do's and don'ts. It has nothing to do with that. Do's and don'ts, of course, in the beginning, the children, they need a routine to study. You must study for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and these are the subjects you must study. Then the homework, because their mind is not ready. And they do not know what is knowledge. They don't have developed the love for knowledge. They don't understand the importance of knowledge. So that do's and don'ts are necessary. Same in the spiritual life also. You have to bathe in the morning, you have to get up and then meditate, you have to go to the temple or to the holy places and pray, then do some donation, charity, do some charity and take the name of God, visit the holy places and all these practices. Then after all these practices, what you are going to get, that is righteousness. That is dharma. That you are becoming that. Being and becoming. You are becoming that. And when we are going on practicing years after years, but not transforming, not becoming, not realizing, then it is of no use. So dharma, it is this important. A man is transformed. He is not converted. This is a conversion means imposing some other ideas on someone. He is not understanding even though, but no, you have to. It is just forcefully or with pride. It's a conversion. No, it is not conversion. Transformation. Hindus believes in transformation. When a person is born, that person is not that way developed. So slowly, he is developing the spirituality. Even when they are children, when we are children, our mother, father, aunties, all our teachers, they always teach, you have to love your friend, you have to love your brothers, sisters, these. Slowly, our mind is becoming broad. I was a selfish being. Now those selfishness are going away. Then I know how to share my thoughts, my wealth, my happiness, my misery, and with many people. So this I'm expanding. And that's why Swami Vivekananda, in a very unique way, he said, expansion is life. What is life? Expansion. I can feel for others. I can pray for others. I should try to help others. So this is the main, that is the life. But I am excluding everyone and becoming so selfish, only thinking about myself, that is completely different thing. So here it says a devotee should understand that God is everywhere and the God, He is in everything. So obviously, sadachara, that is called righteousness. Then a man can realize God if he takes shelter under the Vidya Maya. The God has both Vidya and Avidya. Now, if I go and say I like to be under this Vidya Maya, that is also not pure knowledge. Illusion is there, and still the confusion is there, but it is better to think that God is doing everything, thinking. I have not realized it, but there is no ego. I am trying to eradicate my ego. So that Vidya Maya, and slowly is practicing the righteousness, and time comes when we realize God. So many a time the people they ask when we are going to realize God. We go on taking the name of God and we are not realizing God. What is the realization of God? It's a wrong conception mostly that we are having, that God will appear before us and He will give us the boons, the stories that we read. That is possible. But at the same time, main thing is that you are transforming yourself and you are becoming a person who is full of love and unselfishness. That is God. That is divinity. Swami Vivekananda, he is mentioning that you have to manifest that divinity. It's already there. Already within us. We are not going to get it from somewhere else. It is already there. And we have to manifest that divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. That beautiful, the statement of Swami Vivekananda in the beginning of his Karma Yoga. Each soul is potentially divine. Potentially. But it is divine. And what is the divinity? Love and unselfishness. It is already there. But it is dormant. It is not manifested. It is not active in that way. And how to manifest that? By controlling nature. What is the nature? External nature and internal nature. Nature is proving, what is that nature? Maya. And nature provokes us, Maya provokes us that you are the best. And then the ego comes and I cover the everything. And I live in that dream that I am the powerful man. Everybody is afraid of me. Like this, like that. We are just imagine. Each and everyone lives in his own imagination. We think each and everyone in this world. Sometimes some people they think that the whole world knows him and they like him and all that. We don't have any idea about the world. Such a vast world. If suppose even the President of America without any declaration, if he goes to visit some place in the world, as an ordinary tourist, the people will say, oh, look at that man, he looks like the President of America. But they will know that because he is sitting with other people, drinking coffee and going and taking the photo as a tourist. How they will know it? They won't. Maybe that they will also criticize him and he will hear the people. Not all people are liking him. It is of course there. That's why in olden days the Indian kings, under the disguise, they used to go and mix with the ordinary people to get some the information about his own administration. They used to travel in many places under the disguise of an ordinary person. Why? Because the people who are bringing the information and giving to the officers then, after understanding what are the things that I should tell it to the king, because, oh king, people are criticizing you because of your this thing and that thing, king will be angry and angry with the person who is telling that news. So that's why they are afraid. So they will put it in a sugar-coated thing, and he will say, oh, this is wonderful that you are doing. He will always be under the delusion. The same way, the God also has given us the opportunity, and we are deluded by that way, thinking all people like me, they love me, they are all asking for me. It is nothing like that. The truth is, only God can love truly, because samadharshitva. God is not having any, this is mine and it is, but what God will do because of the work that I perform. Accordingly, He will. So you like bad things, no problem, He will give you bad. If you want this thing, I will give you that. But when you go close to the God and ultimately like to be one with Him, then the hardest problem, that is hardest, that hurdle race in the school days we used to do that, that is the last hurdle. And what is that last hurdle? Lokapriyata. That's why they say that there are three hurdles mainly in the life of the spiritual people. One is that artha, that is the wealth. Another, the progeny. And third is the name and fame. This name and fame is dangerous because that is taking you to another, the delusion. One must be very careful about that. How to overcome that? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, O God, you are the doer, I am the machine. Tumar karmo tumi karo ma, loke bole koriyami. From a song. You are performing your duty and people think that I am doing. You have chosen me and that through me you are doing it. But people not understanding that, they are appreciating me, but it is not me, it is you. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad, but you are asking me to perform that. So this is what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is going on again and again so that we understand it. He who knows, he who firmly believes that God alone is the doer and he himself a mere instrument is a Jivana Mukta. Then who is a Jivana Mukta? One who has realized this. What is God realization? The same thing. What is Jivan Mukta condition? The same thing. What is actually this is? I am performing everything without ego. Called Jivan Mukta. You know, they say in the Purana, the Hanumanji never dies. He is a Jivan Mukta and he is Chirantan, eternal. Why? It is not the Hanuman that form, but it is the idea. What is that idea? I do everything, but I give all the credit to God. A great personality having all qualities about the Hanuman, the Mahavir, the description about him, Mahabuddhimana. He is a very, very intelligent person, very powerful. He is the yogi. And when we read the stories of the Ramayana, it is almost 80% everything was done by him. He alone could destroy the whole Lanka. But he didn't do that. He could bring back the mother Sita, but he didn't do that. He wanted that Sri Rama should go. And that Rama should. When the Ravana came with the chariot, it is the almost third story, very high chariot. And naturally Ravana was getting the benefit of the height. When the Lord Rama was standing on the ground, so it was difficult for him to fight. Hanumana, through his yogic power, make his body big and asked the Rama to sit on his shoulder. You know, one shoulder Sri Rama, another shoulder the Lakshmana. He was taking all that arrows that shot by the Ravana. It was piercing in his body, but he took it. The tremendous power. But he was helping his own Lord. Rama himself could do, but he wanted that his devotees should show the power. This too goes like this. And afterwards, when everybody was praising the Hanumana started crying, and then he said, Rama, please don't give this illusion to me. Rama was also praising, no. Lord, don't give that illusion to me. I know it is you have done it. Because of your power only I could do it. That is why it is the eternal, the ideology. Those who like to realize God, they must follow the path of Hanumana. They should develop tremendous power, tremendous knowledge, tremendous capacity to give it to God. I can't do anything. I'm just sitting over here and taking the name of God and eating and sleeping. What is that? Of course, maybe the blessings may come, but the main thing is I should learn this thing, and that knowledge I should use for the service of God. I can sing, I can talk, I can write. I have the capacity to do this, I have the capacity to do that. Everything, whatever I have learned, I am giving it to the service of God. That is called the Bhakta. Hanumanji, he is of that. It is not the physically he has to leave. I do not know. Maybe, as they say, maybe Hanumanji is leaving still, but it is the ideology which is surviving. And this ideology that we should imbibe. That's why Swami Vivekananda praised the Hanuman and said, you must imbibe those capacities of the Hanumanji. Mahavira, he is the supreme hero. What is that hero? Hero-ness. Because he could give up his ego. We can't give little ego. Here, the Hanumanji, and here he mentioned, he who firmly believes that God alone is the doer and he himself, a mere instrument, is the Jivana Mukta. A free soul through though living in a body. I said this to Keshav Chandra Sen. Then the Girish to the doctor, how do you know that free will exists? Now the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning one thing, but the present, the devotees who are there, they also are, when suddenly the Girish is asking this question and reviving the conversation that he was having with the doctor, after reading this, what is the feeling? They listen, but at the same time, they're thinking they should also have the conversation. But these are the words when the God says, then obviously people should listen and go deep into to ponder so that they can practice it. But anyway, Girish Chandra Ghosh was the great personality. So he is again picking up that question. How do you know the free will exists? The doctor, not by reasoning, I feel it. The Girish, in that case, I may say that I and others feel the reverse. We feel that we are controlled by another. That is the argument was going on before Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he mentioned this. That argument was going on whether the free will is there or that it is the will of God. So the doctor said it is a free will, not that I can argue and say that, but I feel that I have that power, I can do that. When Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna concluded by saying that one who can understand that everything is done by God, maybe through me, through him, he is a Jivan Mukta. So no question of free will. So the Girish asked this question. And the doctor, when he says this, he said, okay, you are thinking that you are having the free will, but we are thinking, no, we don't have the free will. So that is the way. The doctor, there are two elements in duty. First, the oughtness of a duty. Second, the happiness, which comes as an after effect. I must have to perform this. That's the oughtness of a duty. I'm a doctor. I have to treat the patient. Maybe it is dead night, maybe it is difficult time, but still I have to do that. That is ought. But after performing my duty, when I see the success and the patient is becoming recovering, the happiness comes. So these two. But at the initial stage, this happiness is not the impelling motive. As a doctor is very correctly analyzing this, when we are going to perform some work, we do not know whether we will be successful or not. Though happiness is there and we want the happiness after being successful, but here the first is I must have to do this. And who thinks? I think. So he is thinking, the doctor presenting his own position, it is not the free will, it is the I, it is my will. So I am thinking. I notice in my childhood the great worry of the priest at the sight of ants in the sweets offered before the deity. He did not at the outset feel joy at the thought of the sweets, first of all the worried about them. He gave an example, not, I don't think it is very apt though, but the thing is, the priest, he saw an ant on the sweet, so he removed the ant and then offered the sweet to the god. But first he is worried, and then he could offer the sweet to God, then he became happy. That is the example he wanted to give. But when we are performing our duty, we do not know whether we will be successful or not. But because this is my duty, I must attend to it. That is the oughtness, I must. And then afterwards, when it is successful, I am happy. So these are the two aspects of the work. Aim to himself, Master Mahashay. It is difficult to say whether one feels happiness while performing the duty or afterwards. Where is the free will of a man if he performs an action being impelled by a feeling of happiness? Master Masha is thinking in a different way. If the happiness is the ultimate thing that is generating the energy for a person to work, then there are many, many duties. We do not know whether we'll be happy or not, but we perform. So why we do that? So all these things, thoughts are going on. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, what the doctor is speaking of is a call that love without any selfish motive. Love without any selfish motive. If we notice that, this is the great teacher. The other day, we were celebrating the 2nd of this month, the celebration of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's birthday anniversary. And there, one of the speakers he was speaking about is a great teacher. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, a great teacher. Truly, when you notice that all these discussions are going on, Sri Ramakrishna never said, hey, stop this, listen to me. He never said that. But whenever he is getting the opportunity, he is directing their attention to the truth. And the truth is, well, doctor says that I perform the duty not because of the result that is going to happen. I perform because I have to perform. If the happiness comes, it is okay. But I perform my duty, not for the happiness, not for the appreciation, not for the money, but I perform it because I feel I must perform. Bhagavan, taking that, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna immediately turned towards the spiritual and philosophical discussion. He said, it is difficult to say whether one feels happiness while performing the duty or afterwards. Where is the free will of a man? That's what Master Masha was saying. Sri Ramakrishna said, what is the doctor is speaking of is called love without any selfish motive. I do not want anything from Dr. Mahendra Sarkar. I do not need anything from him, but still I love to see him. This is love for love's sake. But suppose I get a little joy from it, how can I help it? So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, that is the uniqueness. This is a great teacher. He is once again he is taking the minds of all the disciples and to pinpoint happiness is the ultimate and it will automatically come. Not that I don't want happiness, nothing like that. You need not to think of it. But you are performing because you love that. It is not the doctor said ought. I must have to perform. No, because I love to perform. Because I love to do that. When I love to do that, I love to see God, but I don't want anything from God, not even the blessings, and that is called the ultimate love. Love for love's sake. I love for love's sake, not for anything else. Suppose after that a happiness generates in my mind, I cannot help it. So happiness is the ultimate, it will come. Only thing, I am not pursuing for that. So I am going to do this because I will get the happiness. That means you are having an object. So that your work is not the pure love. We have to understand this point very clearly. When we are performing the duties of God, there's a word they usually use everywhere. I am performing the duties of God. What are the duties of God? The God's duty means God has not given anything, any responsibility to anyone. But he says, if you love God, at the beginning of our discussion, that means you love yourself same way. Atma Bhat. In Sanskrit they say Atma Bhat. As you like yourself, so you have to love others in the same way. I go to somebody's house, and I expect these are the things for me. Obviously, when someone is coming to my house, I should know they may like this also. Immediately, I have to attend to that. I go to somebody's house and they show me a room, and the guest room. I like to see the bed is clean, bathroom is clean, and the towels are there, and some of the toiletries are ready. I need not to worry. Then this plug is there, these and that. Nowadays, of course, immediately you have to go and ask whether you have the Wi-Fi number. So obviously, unless the Wi-Fi number, so all these things. And I go and ask those things from the devotee. When they come, shall I not provide those things to them? This is the thing. When I go, I expect that. But when they come, do I do the same thing to them? This is the first thing. Atma Bhat Seva. Now, I love God. I love God because I love it. The children, whose child is that? What is his father's name? What is this? What is we don't care. There's a little baby lying down, just like to play with the baby, or just looking at it and getting the joy because of the simple and the innocent way they look, they laugh, they cry, they behave. That is called love for love's sake. You are not expecting anything. The same, this thing also, we find it is the love for love's sake. Love for love's sake, but suppose I get a little joy from it. Even after that, if you get a little joy. Ahulla once said to Rama, O Rama, I have no objection to, to being born as a pig, but please grant that I may have pure love for thy lotus feet. I do not want anything else. Even the birth is the lower birth. Oh, please give me the higher birth. Please give me a family where I will get the joy. Nothing like that. You give whatever. But my mind should be at your feet. That is called love for love's sake. We are worshipping God. Then obviously we expect that God will also protect us. There will be no problem for us. When you are thinking in that way, it is not pure love. It is love with some objectives, some purposes. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, what he is mentioning, that's the ultimate of love. Narada went to Ayodhya to remind Rama that he was to kill Ravana. At the sight of the Rama and Sita, he began to sing their glories. Gratified and Narada's devotion, Rama said, Narada, I am pleased with your prayer. Ask a boon. Narada replied, O Rama, if thou must give me a boon, then grant that I may have pure love for thy lotus feet, and that I may not be deluded by thy world-bewitching Maya. Rama said, Ask something more. No, Rama, answered the Narada, I do not want anything else. I want only pure love for the lotus feet, a love that seeks no return. This is called the ultimate love. The attitude of a pure love, it never wants anything from God. Only I like to love you. But I like to love you, that also depends on God's will. So obviously, Narada again and again, and also the Ahalla, you should grant me that. I like to love you. That mental condition, that also depends on God's will. If the God is not removing his Maya, I won't be able to love him in this way, because the thought won't come. Different type of thoughts will come, and we will never understand this. That is Dr. Sharka's attitude. It is like seeking God alone and not asking him for wealth, fame, bodily comfort or anything else. That is called pure love. Thank you, friends. We will study in the next week again from over here. So let us conclude by quoting from chanting this mantra. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.